Joining me now is the former Deputy Prime Minister, Michael McCormack. Let's start with this inflation number today, 3.8% on the year, and the energy number, if we put that back up on the screen, 37.1%.
Yeah, it's high. And Mr and Mrs Average out there are paying through the nose. Every time they open their quarterly power bills, they should see Chris Bowen's face, and he's off running the negotiations for climate action overseas. We talked about him being a part-time minister yesterday. Well, he genuinely is.
Should they keep the rebates in place?
Look, they need to pull a whole lot of levers to make sure that they adjust inflation. Here we go. We've got them looking at cutting the public service. I mean, they made a great faith-based, decision to say, oh, look at Peter Dutton, how terrible. He's going to slash 41,000 public service jobs. They were the ones who put the jobs in, and now they're the ones who are going to cut them back. And will we see any pushback about that? Jim Chalmers has got a lot to answer for. Labor can't run the economy anywhere near as well as the Coalition can, and it's showing. It's showing in the numbers, 3.8% inflation, 37.1% with energy costs. But everything, rent, insurance, everything is going through the roof, and Mr and Mrs Average are paying for it, and they know it.
So do you think they should keep that rebate in place next year, not just to help the households, but also to have an impact on the inflation number overall?
Well, it's gone beyond that. They need to put a pause on the rollout of the renewables. They need to put a pause on talking down our mining, put a pause on demonising coal and iron ore. They're two of our largest exports. They need to have a good rethink. I mean, they had a productivity roundtable.
When you say put a pause on the rollout of renewables, do you mean stop the construction?
Absolutely. I mean, we've got...
What about ones that are already funded and being built?
Look, the contracts are signed and sealed, but they're continuing across my area. My area is Renewable Central of the Riverina. And what we're now seeing is asbestos coming in from Chinese built and constructed wind towers. Now, do we need that? It's bad enough that we've got PFAS and people living with that in their environments, let alone if we get asbestos in from China.
Where's that happened?
Well, the reports this week about asbestos in the actual the materials that are coming in to build wind towers. Now, that is a real concern. I've put a question in the question time, whether it gets up or not, I don't know. But Chris Bowen needs to explain, is he concerned about this, and what is he doing about it? I mean, it was a massive report earlier in the week about this asbestos, and that should be of great concern. And not only that, we've got companies building wind towers near Crookwell, in and around the Upper Lachlan Shire, which are not even going to be connected to the grid. So they're doing it for the subsidies. Now, is that right and proper? And then, of course, we've got 28,000 kilometres of transmission lines going right through some of the best arable farmland in Australia. Now, the biggest moral challenge of our times, I think, is being able to grow enough food to help feed a hungry world. And the trouble is, we're not going to be able to do that if we use all of our, or much of our arable farmland, carpet bombing with wind towers, battery energy storage systems.
So you'd like to see any project that's not up and running or signed paused?
Absolutely.
In terms of renewable.
But it's not only me. It's the farmers in Bynalong, Bowning.
But what would that do to investment in that space?
Well, what's it doing to power prices at the moment? What's it doing? What's it doing to those farming communities? What's it doing to family friendships that have been going for generations? This isn't the regional Australia that I grew up in, Kieran. This is a nonsense. This is causing so much hurt and angst. And the volunteer firefighters... Are
you saying that because one farm would take the money for the wind farm rent,
and quite often it's
and then the neighbour cops it?
Yeah, and quite often the neighbour is the brother or the sister of the person who's already signed a deal, and the companies are coming in and they're signing one and not the other. Now, I don't say sign them all up. What I'm saying is put a pause on them, because the volunteer firefighters, the rural fire service, are saying, they're pushing back. They're saying, we're really worried. We're not equipped enough, we're not trained enough to go out if these lithium battery energy storage systems, if the toxicity of the flames is such that is going to cause them health and harm. They're very worried about it. And, and I'm with them. I'm with them every step of the way.
On this broader debate, you've got the energy price disinflation now. Inflation headline back up to nearly 4%. Surely the coalition can get a bit of momentum now.
I think we have got momentum. I think this week Susan's certainly got a mojo going, and I think you've seen in question time this week, Labor really on the mat. The Prime Minister's been a lot quieter. I mean, admittedly, he's probably a bit jet lagged from all the overseas travel. I'm not criticising for doing that. You want your Prime Minister to be overseas and doing the sorts of things on the world stage to make Australia proud. But we didn't need Chris Bowen in Brazil, quite frankly. But anyway, let's park that for the moment.
But isn't that part of his job, to have a dialogue internationally?
Sure it is, but is it his job then to be the president of the negotiations for climate action? And isn't it his job to be... he's also the Energy Minister. Energy Minister, I would have thought, would have been part of that portfolio, would have been to bring energy prices down, and they're 40% higher on average from what they were in May 2020.
They say their argument... OK, well, they say the argument is, that it's on the coalition's head, including when you were Deputy Prime Minister, that there were dozens of energy plans and none of them landed, that 24 out of 28 coal-fired power stations said they were going to close under your watch, and nothing was done.
And yet you've got Premiers Jacinda Allen and Chris Minns extending the life of coal-fired power stations, and I think we need to have a good, hard, long look at that
did the coalition
underwriting
drop the ball
new generation investment.
in the decade you're in office?
It was difficult. We had an obstructive Senate. You've got to remember that. You've also got to remember we had a little thing called COVID, and everything, all our energies were then put into not only helping to protect and preserve jobs and businesses, but also protect lives with the rollout of the vaccines, and I think we did that.
But
very,
this
very well.
inflation number, aren't we seeing a bit of the catch-up in terms of the transmission with old and ageing power facilities going offline, bringing new transmission on? Isn't that a big part of what we're seeing here? Playing catch-up footy.
It's some part of it, but I'm not going to give Labor any credit for what they've done. They've been in power now for more than 3 years, and they can't keep blaming the coalition. They simply can't. They talk about $1 trillion worth of debt. Well, it was nowhere near that, and much of that debt was caused because of COVID-19.
And Barnaby Joyce, what's happening there?
Well, I've had a good long chat with him today, a heart-to-heart. I hope he stays with the Nationals. I genuinely do. His place should be with the Nationals. They are the ones who gave him the rare opportunity not to be Deputy Prime Minister once, but 3 times, in fact. And
is there still hope you'll keep him?
Absolutely there is. I'm the eternal optimist.
You are.
Fingers crossed, let's hope that he comes back to the green and go.
You are, except when it comes to renewables. You're not
indeed. But I hope he goes away, has Christmas with Vicky and the boys, has a good long thing. I hope he doesn't make any hasty decisions now. I don't know, he's put a bit of a timeline, he's painted himself into a bit of a corner, but let's get off his back. Let's let him go and have Christmas, have a think about it and come back in February. Much can change between now and February.
That's true. That is very true in politics. Michael McCormack, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kieran.